Just because I know of niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, retinol, AHA, BHA, alpha arbutin, my skin doesn't need it all. So if you have dry skin, you opt for hyaluronic acid or niacinamide. If you have oily skin, you opt for salicylic acid. If you want pigmentation to reduce, you use vitamin C or you use maybe kojic acid or alpha arbutin. If you want to reduce the size of your pores or reduce fine lines, then use a retinol or an AHA. Dermatologically tested is a very common thing that is written on most, skincare products, and that really means nothing.
Can you tell us whether face yoga actually tightens the skin?
So some movements, like this, it helps. But any movements around the upper face will cause more wrinkles. Yeah, because those are the muscles which are contracting, and then you get crow's feet, you get lines on the nose, you get lines on the forehead, you get frown lines. So
You're setting up yourself for Botox treatment with that. I
Yes,
feel.
absolutely. Absolutely.
That taking whey protein often causes acne.
So, yes, that's true. But typically, body acne, chest, shoulder, back, it may come on the face. It's quite common. This is a very big thing about paraben. Like every product now, they want to market it and sell it as paraben free. Now, I have to bust this myth here because parabens have been there since 1920s, and they are the safest preservatives, the cosmetic uses of Botox. So, it's a medicine, and there is nothing to get scared about. The effect will last only for 4 months. So even if something goes wrong, in 4 months, the whole thing is going to go away. It is never going to be permanent. With a filler, if you don't like the result, you inject hyaluronidase, it goes off within 48 hours.
What's the right age to start anti-aging treatments like Botox and fillers?
35?
But is it a big disadvantage if you start at like 50, for example?
You should never start at 50. By then, the building has collapsed.
Okay.
Chemical peels and microneedling, these are things you can even start in your early 30s. Radio
Okay.
frequency, high intensity focused ultrasound, things which you can start early.
Yeah.
And skin boosters, you can start at around between 30, 35. Eye makeup, don't use over 6 months. Lipsticks, 1 year. You may use an eye cream with hyaluronic acid or retinol for hydration and to prevent fine lines.
Yeah.
You may use an eye serum with vitamin C, vitamin K to prevent the dark circles from becoming worse.
Niacinamide is actually overrated.
Absolutely overrated.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Level Up podcast. Our guest today needs no introduction in the area of skincare and dermatology. Dr. Jaishree Sharad is one of India's most celebrated dermatologists. She's a trusted name for many celebrities including Ranbir Kapoor, Neetu Kapoor, Shweta Bachchan, Farah Khan, Varun Dhawan, Jacqueline Fernandes, Karan Johar, Huma Qureshi, and the list just goes on. She's also a Tedx speaker and an author who's changed the way we look at skincare in India. In our conversation today, we'll touch upon a lot of topics from glowing skin to anti-aging to Korean skincare routines to morning and night skincare routines that actually work. We'll also get to know the truth behind Botox and fillers, and we decode how you can achieve celebrity-like skin sitting at home. So stay tuned for a very exciting episode. Hi, Dr. Jaishree. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you so much for having me.
And to start off, I've understood that you don't generally endorse the traditional CTM routine that people recommend, which is cleanser, toner, moisturizer. Can you shed more light on what would be an ideal day and night skincare routine?
So the CTM, I think, was more marketing. What is really important is cleansing, moisturizing, and protecting your skin with a sunscreen. So that's your day, a very simple day routine. Wash your face, that's cleanse your face, apply a moisturizer, and use a sunscreen. And if you want to add stuff, then you may add some serums in the morning after cleansing your face. Toning is very optional. I do not advocate toning as much. If you have very oily skin, acne prone skin, then maybe you would want to tone. Or if you are going to be out, in the open and exposed to a lot of pollution, then maybe. But otherwise, you can purely skip it. At night, again, however tired you are, you have to cleanse your face because there's dust, there's sweat salts, there's oil, there's grime, that everything that the muck that accumulates on your face. So, and of course, if you have makeup on, so remove that makeup and clean the skin surface and then use a moisturizer. So, I would say if you've done that much, it's more than enough, especially for men, because they wouldn't want to do a 10-step skincare routine. But otherwise, if you want to do a little more elaborate routine, then you cleanse your face, you apply a serum depending on the skin requirement. And then you do either an anti aging cream if you're above 40, or you apply a moisturizer. And when I say moisturizer, I mean moisturize your entire body, not just your face. Because that's what people forget. You just take care of your face and then you don't moisturize your hands and legs. And as we age, with the hormonal shifts, the skin starts to get drier and you need moisturizing. So that's as simple as that.
Absolutely. And thank you for mentioning that, the toner is not as important as, it's marketed. I can speak for men that, we'll apply something on our face, but we'll forget something as simple as a neck. But, thank you for pointing that out. And another concern that I feel like most of us have is that when we are looking at these skincare products and we are reading the labels, they are so complex for a layman to understand. So, can you help us read labels in the sense that can you tell us a few ingredients that if we see that on the label, we should not buy it?
So I think, first of all, don't look at the packaging and the kind of, if something says wrinkles are gone within 3 days or 1 week of application, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Pigmentation gone within a month of application, that's not happening. Dermatologically tested is a very common thing that is written on most, skincare products, and that really means nothing.
Yeah.
Because it's not like a scientific study that has been done. It's maybe one dermatologist who's been taken on board and has been paid, is on either on a payroll or has been paid for that. And so again, that means nothing. What you have to look at first, I'll tell you, is look at the date of manufacturing, the date of expiry, and the period after opening. These are three important things. Then you see how reputed and how much research has gone behind that brand. Is it a really reputed brand? It need not be expensive. You know. And then, if there is a lot, the first 5 ingredients, when you read the ingredients list, if a product does not have ingredients listed, don't buy it. Now, if it has ingredients listed, the first 5 ingredients are your most important ingredients. The remaining, the concentration is very less. The last few ingredients will talk about preservatives, fragrance, and the color. So if, say, you want to use a niacinamide or a vitamin C, and something has been labeled as, with niacinamide and vitamin C, but those have been listed after the fragrance, that means the concentration is very less. You have to look at those first 5. So these are certain things that you will look at. Try and opt for fragrance-free products as far as possible, right? Some people will develop allergy over a period of time. Some people may develop hyperpigmentation. And when you have a lot of fragrance, the product is not really working well. Also, avoid products which have alcohol in it, like too much of a high concentration of alcohol. If it is a sunscreen, oxybenzone is very controversial. Baba is controversial. Better to stay away from them, right? Then comes this very big thing about paraben. Like every product now, they want to market it and sell it as paraben free. Yeah. Now, I have to bust this myth here because parabens have been there since 1920s. And they are the safest preservatives. And they preserve a product from getting contaminated with bacteria, viral bodies, fungi, yeasts, etc. The concentration now, FDA, US FDA, Europe, Japan, all of them have given clearance that you can have 0.4% of paraben, one type, and a total of 0.8%. So methyl paraben, butyl paraben, if you have a mix of them, there has to be a 0.8%. So if it is more than 0.8, don't use it. If it is less than 0.8, it's very, very safe. There's one study done by one Dr. Philip where the lady had breast cancer and he found some very minute amounts of paraben, and then it became a big thing saying, oh, it is, a hormone disruptor and it's got estrogen and this and that. There are many products, even milk and soy have estrogen, right? So there's no authentic study or in vivo study, human studies, which talk about, oh, maybe it's causing cancer. No, it's not causing cancer. It's not toxic. But if you have atopic dermatitis or asthma, sometimes you may be allergic to it. So that is something you will avoid then. Otherwise, it's absolutely okay. A lot of times, essential oils and natural ingredients can also cause allergies. So one has to be very careful, when you read those ingredients. And if it says all organic, all natural, you can't have everything natural and just keep it on the shelf. It's going to rot, right? Unless you've taken something from the kitchen, made it, and applied it. That's all natural, I agree. But if you're putting it in a bottle, you can't use it for over 24 hours. So these are things that you've got to be like a little careful of.
Thank you for sharing these, especially the paraben part of it. Like, I also did not know that. So I'm like really happy that you pointed that out. I want to move to a slightly lighter section. It's, there are a lot of myths, especially on Instagram and on social media, where we see like anyone and everyone's giving like knowledge about skincare. But there are a lot of myths that are going around, and I'd like for you to maybe clear those for us. So I'll just name the myth and you can tell us whether it's a myth or a fact. So the first one is drinking a lot of water is all you need for hydrated skin.
Oh my God, that's the biggest myth. Water is, of course, very essential for your entire body. It's important for hydration of the skin as well.
Yeah.
But the upper layers of your skin, called the stratum corneum, they also need moisture in the form of, so they have these cells which are full of lipids, fatty acids, and cholesterol. And there's something called natural moisturizing factors. So you need oil as well, and you need moisture as well, and not just water.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, these upper layers do not get water from below because they're dead cells. So they take moisture from the environment, right? So there are two things that I've talked about here.
Yeah.
One is the oils, and second is moisture from the environment. So if you're sitting in the AC all day long, or if the climate is very dry, where is the moisture? There's no moisture. So you need a moisturizer, and just drinking water is not going to be adequate. Having said that, you must have at least 30 ml per kilo, like,
Okay.
your
weight,
thing,
body
your
weight.
weight. So of water. So I think it comes to approximately 2 liters at least.
Yeah.
2 to 3 liters at least. People who say 8 liters, 10 liters, gallons, this, that, it's not really essential for your skin. Maybe good for your body, but I think you should do at least 2 liters.
Yeah, no, makes sense. The next one is applying toothpaste or lemon on a pimple works to get rid of it faster.
I'm afraid it may have worked for some people, but it can cause a lot of irritation. It alters the pH of the skin. And I have seen patients who've come with burns and pigmentation and blemishes and scarring after having applied lemon and toothpaste. So please don't do it.
I can imagine the formulations for toothpaste are also different. So I don't know, what
So
are they
back in the
applying?
day, toothpastes had triclosan, which is an antibacterial. So
Yeah.
it was killing the bacteria and the pimple.
Yeah.
And so probably the acne was drying up. But now they don't use that anymore. So I don't even know how it works.
Yeah. The next one is you only need to use sunscreen when you're out in the sun.
Oh God. Okay. So when you're indoors, if you have glass windows, or if you have balconies where you're constantly stepping out, see, 70% of ultraviolet A penetrates glass. So you're still getting a little bit of UVA, you're getting blue light as well. So that's one. Second, if you have balconies, if you're going to your terrace, then again you're getting exposed. Third is blue light. Now, blue light comes from sunlight as well as your laptops and your cell phones and your television screens. So if you have exposure for over 3 hours, then most certainly you're getting a similar effect that you will get from sunlight. So blue light is going to do the same damage: collagen degradation, hyperpigmentation, all of that. Which is why you should be wearing a sunscreen even when you're indoors. Now, if you have rooms, closed rooms, absolutely no light at all, but you have harsh lights and screen time, you need a tinted sunscreen. Because a tinted sunscreen has iron oxide, which is protecting you from blue light. But if you have windows, French windows, a lot of light coming in, then you can use a regular sunscreen, which is both UVA and UVB protective.
And when you're using a sunscreen, like, do you have to reapply more than once in a day?
So if you're outdoors, you most definitely have to reapply every 2 to 3 hours. Because if you're sweating, the efficacy of the sunscreen, first of all, goes away in about 2 to 3 hours. And secondly, if you're sweating, then it goes off sooner. So you will have to reapply. Now, for people with makeup or people who find it very difficult, these days there are spray sunscreens. So all you have to do is take it out from your bag and spray it on your face or and your exposed parts, so your neck, your hands. There are also powder sunscreens. So if you have makeup on, you have these very nice tinted powders. So you just dab it on, and the makeup also stays, and you have sunscreen. So it's there are options available now. If you're indoors and your screen time is about 1 to 2 hours, very closed doors, then it's all right. You probably don't need to reapply. But again, if you are stepping out, balcony, there's that large windows, you will reapply after 3-4 hours. So I would say 4 hours
And I
indoors.
think in today's time, like everyone's screen time is definitely more than an hour. So I think it makes
So
sense
I
that
think at
everyone
least,
applies.
once in the morning
Yeah,
after
and
your bath, and then after lunch, maybe you dab
once
it once
again,
more.
it makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, the next one is changing your pillowcase daily is important to prevent acne.
So daily may not be practical,
Hmm.
but at least I would say twice in a week you must change your pillow
Yeah.
covers. Um, if there's a lot of dust, then maybe you'll have to do it more often, because it's true, that when you have a lot of uh, dust and microbes on the pillow cover, your pores will get clogged, and there's a definite possibility. Sometimes people sleep on one side and they get acne only on one side. So, yeah, it's better to change it at least twice or 3 times in a week.
Okay. The next one, I think a lot of people are guilty of this, but popping pimples should always be avoided.
Absolutely. Because when you're popping a pimple, there are two things. We have to remember that our skin also has a lot of bacteria, right? And then we're touching various things and the bacteria all over. So, A, you're introducing a little bit of infection. B, you are probably using your nail to damage the skin at a deeper level. So, what happens? You end up with a blemish or a dark mark. So you should not be popping it on your own. Yes, you can go to a skin clinic and get a cleanup, a comedone extraction, a blackhead or whitehead extraction done. Um, but go to a proper place where they can extract the entire thing. Sometimes, if the entire comedone doesn't come out, then there is inflammation and that becomes a pimple. So the person extracting it also should be able to do it the right way. The instrument that they use should be absolutely sterile. So just saying, oh, I dipped it in hot water or cleansed it with Dettol doesn't work. You have to autoclave it. So those are important things.
Absolutely. But can that leave a permanent scar on someone's face? Like
Uh,
popping a pimple?
Sometimes I have seen, if the damage is way too much.
Okay.
But otherwise, the blemish that is there may stay for sometimes even a year or so.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Coming on to another trend that's gotten really popular, can you tell us whether face yoga actually tightens the skin?
That's a very controversial thing. So some movements, like this, it helps. Okay. So some movements and some sort of movements like this will help to a certain extent. You're, making these muscles a little more firm. But any movements around the upper face will cause more wrinkles. Yeah, because those are the muscles which are contracting, and then you get crow's feet, you get lines on the nose, you get lines on the forehead, you get frown lines. So, yeah. So,
You're
you,
setting up yourself for Botox treatment with that, I
yes,
feel.
absolutely. Absolutely.
The next one is niacinamide is actually overrated.
Absolutely overrated. Okay, vitamin B3. Um, yes, it does help in, making ceramides, which are building blocks of our skin. So, yes, it's true. Niacinamide is overrated. It's vitamin B3. It does help in building ceramides, which are the building blocks, and they also help to moisturize the skin. It helps in probably inhibiting an enzyme called tyrosinase. That enzyme helps in pigment formation. So when you block that, you are preventing pigment formation, but the level is very less. All right. So by itself, niacinamide will not do much. When you use it with other like a retinol or a hyaluronic acid or a vitamin C, then the effect is better. So it's a nice adjuvant.
Hmm. But I think the way it's been marketed is like, it's niacinamide, you should just buy it.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
I don't use niacinamide.
the next one is collagen creams are a scam.
So currently, there is not adequate research which says that, oh, collagen in a cream is going to penetrate the deeper layers and stimulate the fibroblasts. It doesn't happen. But if you use a cream which has retinol in it, or resveratrol in it, or peptide in it, that probably, peptide and retinol actually, would probably stimulate your fibroblasts to produce collagen. But just collagen cream per se, no.
But is it true that mostly the creams that we are applying, they don't go beyond the second layer of the skin?
Most of the time, yes. Yeah, that's very true. So you have epidermis, the upper, and then you have dermis, right? Epidermis has about 5 layers, and then there is dermis. So dermis has all your blood vessels, your collagen, your elastin fibers, and everything. The upper is called papillary dermis. The lower is called reticular dermis. Creams don't go up to the, not even the midway of the papillary dermis. Most of them. Nowadays, they are manufacturing some creams with nanoparticles, which probably will go, but
Generally,
still
they
not. No.
The next one that I have is that eye creams generally don't work.
So, some eye creams will work if you are consistent. Now, if the damage is already done, if you already have dark circles, if you already have wrinkles, maybe it's not going to work.
Okay.
But for prevention,
Okay.
you may use it. So you may use an eye cream with hyaluronic acid or retinol for hydration and to prevent fine lines.
Yeah.
You may use an eye serum with vitamin C, vitamin K to prevent the dark circles from becoming worse. But removing them may not be possible. You will have to do treatments.
No, because I see a lot of people, including myself, we are trying to apply those eye creams to remove dark spots. It just
It's
doesn't
not
work.
gonna happen.
Yeah. The next is if you have oily skin, you should not use moisturizer.
No, that's a big myth. As I said, the upper layers of your skin, the stratum corneum, the dead cells, are not getting moisture from anywhere. So even if you have oily skin, that's oil. What about the moisture? Right? So you still need to use a moisturizer. Because if you try and say that, oh, my skin is so oily and I have to make it squeaky clean and I have to use a lot of cleanser and foam based cleanser and all of that, you will dry the skin and damage the barrier protective layer of the skin. And when that barrier is damaged, the body has its own mechanism. It will say, let's fight, let's start to produce more oil. And then in the bargain, there's more oil production, more acne. So you have to use a moisturizer, but don't use an oil-based moisturizer or a heavy cream-based moisturizer. Use a water-based or a gel-based moisturizer. We're very fortunate to these days we get all of this.
Yeah.
Earlier we weren't. Yeah, those they were not available.
Well, thank you for sharing this. The next one is our lips also need sun protection.
Yes, they do. So the lip, if you see, it's just mucosa. It doesn't have all the layers of the skin, right? And they will tend to form those fine lines and, hyperpigmentation will set in some people. So it's nice to, just use that same sunscreen a little over your lip as well.
Okay.
You may not be able to do it all the time, but at least once a day. And there are these transparent lip balms with SPF, which are good to use.
Okay.
You can use them.
I think a lot of people don't know about this, especially men. I think I have no idea that lips also need sun protection. The next
That's
one,
only if you're outdoors for long hours.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, you can do without it.
Another one is that taking whey protein often causes acne.
So yes, that's true. But typically body acne, chest, shoulder, back, it may come on the face. So casein, a lot of whey has casein in it. And that will alter your IGF-1, increase the IGF-1 hormone, and also alter the estrogen levels in the body. And that can, in certain, may not happen in all, but most of the time, it can stimulate your oil glands to produce more oil. And then, there's clogging, and then there is bacteria called Propionibacterium acne, which multiplies, and you get body acne. It's quite common.
Okay. And the last one of the segment is gua sha effectively tightens the skin.
So, no, that's a myth.
Okay.
But what gua sha does is, if you use it the right way,
Yeah.
a jade roller or a gua sha,
Yeah.
you're draining the lymphatics properly. As we age, the lymphatic drainage becomes slower and sluggish.
Okay.
So when you you use those, you drain the fluid nicely, so the puffiness on the face reduces
Yeah.
temporarily. It's not going to do anything to collagen stimulation and all of that, but definitely the lymphatic drainage is better.
Yeah. But I think it doesn't have any long-term impact.
No,
It's
no.
just in the short term. So thank you for clearing that. And Dr. Jaishree, you have so many celebrity clients, and most of our audiences compare their self-image to celebrities. They're looking at those kind of skins, that jaw contouring, that nose job, everything that's happening. But a lot of them feel like this is just skincare, but actually there's a lot more than just skincare that's going into it. Can you help us understand what are the kind of aesthetic treatments that celebrities opt for today, and how is their skincare routine any different from what the layman uses?
See, first of all, one has to understand that skincare is holistic. So, using a particular serum or a very expensive cream or something and not following the other things, as in having a lot of all alcohol or smoking, or not sleeping well, or not exercising a lot, having a lot of sugar, then stress, these are things which are going to be detrimental for your skin health. They are going to hasten the process of collagen degradation. Some of them may help, may actually cause more hyperpigmentation. So skincare has to be holistic. So that's something that most celebrities are very, very careful about, and they have a very disciplined and a tough routine to follow, especially when they're shooting
Yeah,
or they know they have a movie.
yeah,
Okay, once the schedule is over, they may chill for a bit,
yeah.
right? They may indulge in their sugars and all, but before that, they are very, very disciplined. So that is something that we all have to get into, as to follow a very good
Lifestyle.
holistic lifestyle.
Yeah,
Healthy holistic lifestyle. That's number
number
one.
one.
Then comes a very compliant, regular, consistent skincare. आज यूज किया, कल बोर हो गए, परसों भूल गए. Then I got tired at night, so I didn't do it. It should not happen. So you have to be very consistent. Any skincare product, for that to show results, it's going to take about 6 weeks to 3 months. Right? So that is something that they really follow. So if we say, listen, do this, they will do it to the T. So that's the second thing that's different. Then you said a very interesting thing about it's not just skin. Right? So when we're talking about skin, we're talking about skin tone and skin texture, which means color, uneven skin tone, patchy skin, kahin dark hai, kahin light hai, whatever. Then we're talking about pores. Now we do have, the face has about 20,000 pores, which are normal. And they're supposed to be open because they are getting out the oil that is produced in the oil glands, the sebaceous glands. Now, as we age, the pore size increases, and so the pores appear enlarged. Because there is collagen degradation. The pore, basically, it's like a tube. And that tube is made of collagen elastin fibers, which is supporting it. That's the framework. With age, or with smoking, or with a lot of sun exposure, bad lifestyle, this collagen will degrade, and the pore, that thing which is holding it, is going to loosen. And so the pore will open. Right? That's one thing. And if you have a lot of oil secretion also, then the pore size enlarges. So that is texture. Acne scars, texture. So we look at all that. That is skin. Now, how do you take care of skin? With your skincare routine and the holistic lifestyle. Then we do surface treatments like microneedling, PRP, chemical peels, hydrofacials, which help in reducing all these surface issues. Tone, we do chemical peels again for blemishes, for hyperpigmentation, or we do Q-switch, ND-YAG lasers and pico lasers if you have a lot of hyperpigmentation, resistant pigment which is not going. Or sometimes you want quicker results. They have shoots and they want quicker results. So then we do the lasers. So this is about skin. Then comes the lines and wrinkles, right? So wrinkles are not a part of skin aging. Wrinkles appear like your crow's feet or your frown lines. You constantly appear angry, or you have forehead lines. These appear because of muscle movement. So they're deeper. The muscle is moving constantly. Therefore, you're developing those lines. And they are more expressive. They have to emote all the time. And then they're always exposed to sunlight or harsh lights. Infrared, blue light, sunlight, all of that is going to cause premature aging. It is going to break down your collagen. So, which means you have to do some kind of muscle activity, muscle stimulation, which goes deeper than creams. Creams will not penetrate. So, then you have to do certain treatments for that. So, as we age, what happens? The face has 5 to 7 layers. The deepest is the bone. Then you have deep fat, thick layer of fat. Then you have muscle. Then again, you have a little bit of fat, and then you have skin. All these layers are aging, and even the bone is chipping. Okay, there's a resorption or a degradation of the bone. That deep fat goes away, the muscle becomes thin. Then there are certain ligaments which attach the bone to the muscle, they become loose. So it's as if the whole building is collapsing, right? And therefore, that upper skin layer, usme bhi the collagen is degrading, it's becoming thin. It doesn't have support, due to which everything sags. So your laugh lines, we're all born with laugh lines, but those get deeper. Then you develop jowls. So your jawline is not contoured anymore. Your under eye, because you lose fat and bone, you develop sockets. The nose, because the bone over there, starts to chip, doesn't have support. The nose starts to look a little hooded. It used to, oh doc, when I was young, it used to be nice and pointy, and now it's dipping. The upper lip, okay, because the bone here, your teeth, all of that is again going behind. The lip becomes thinner because it's rolling inwards. So all these are changes that happen as we age, and because of poor lifestyle, that is also hastened. Right? So then you have to do treatments like radio frequency, high intensity focused ultrasound, maybe skin booster injections. There are deeper skin biostimulators like Radius and Sculptra. What are biostimulators? They stimulate your collagen and your bone as well. So they're going deep. Then there are surface stimulators like skin boosters, which will stimulate your collagen. So you have to do, I'm not saying you have to do all the treatments, but you'll have to do something or the other if you want to slow down the process of aging. You can't put a full stop to aging. You can turn back the clock a little, but it has to be a combination of all these. And if the wrinkles are already formed, so then you have to, if you have crow's feet, you have constant frown lines. These days, even younger people get it because of laptop and constant screen time. So then you need to do a little bit of Botox. Don't overdo it, just about the right amount. It's called baby Botox, which is just nothing but smaller doses. So that to relax the muscle. Sometimes already not taken care, and so you have sunken eyes or you have very thin lips, you can do a little bit of filler. Chin is very small. Chin also, it regresses and becomes shorter with age. Sometimes people have it genetically. Men have men come for a more robust chin and a jawline. You can do fillers. There's absolutely no harm. The key is always, less is more. Don't cross the line.
No, absolutely. You mentioned Botox and fillers, and I feel like people are very fascinated by it. But at the same time, the layman is also really scared of getting this done. So, someone comes to you and they are worried about the dangers of this. What would you tell them?
So, first of all, what is Botox? Okay, but it's basically a trade name. It's botulinum toxin is the generic thing. It's a protein, okay, which is pure. It's a purified protein derivative, and it is a medicine. It was invented and used for a lot of medical conditions, right? For example, cerebral palsy. Even a 10-year-old is injected with Botox, botulinum toxin, for cerebral palsy. Blepharospasm, that is an eyelid paralysis. Okay, cervical dystonia, pain in the trapezius muscle, shoulders here, excessive sweating, migraines. Nowadays, hernia repairs surgically inside. Once you cut open, you give Botox. So it is a medicine. Now, it just happened by chance that, it was discovered by Dr. Jean Carruthers. She's an ophthalmologist. She was injecting Botox into her patients who had eyelid paralysis. And these patients came back very happy saying, that has gone, paralysis has gone, wrinkles have gone. So then she told her husband, who's a dermatologist, Dr. Alistair Carruthers. Incidentally, I have trained under them, but Dr. Alistair is no more. However, so she said, you guys use so many creams and they don't work, but I think I found something. And then they did the study, and then they found out the cosmetic uses of Botox. So it's a medicine, and there is nothing to get scared about. Number two, it comes in a bottle. It's like an injection. The effect will last only for 4 months. So even if something goes wrong, okay, it is in 4 months, the whole thing is going to go away. It is never going to be permanent.
That's a relief for a lot of
That's
people.
a relief. Some people come and say, oh, if we start doing Botox, we have to keep continuing it. Otherwise, when we stop, then our face becomes more wrinkled, this, that, the other. Absolutely false. Suppose today I have 3 lines over here, crow's feet. Okay. and I get myself injected with Botox. For 4 months, I don't see the lines, or depending on the dose, I see that the lines are less prominent. Instead of 3 deep lines, I have 1 faint line, or I have no lines at all, depending on how much you give. Now, after 4 months, when the Botox effect wears off, you will get back those 3 lines, right? Now, when you keep doing your Botox regularly, you will always be, even if you stop, you'll end up with those 3 lines. If you don't do it, those lines will get deeper and deeper and deeper and probably also increase in number, right? So that is the difference. So it's never going to be worse, right? Why does Botox go wrong? If because the face has got, like, it's a complex of muscles, right? And they're very interconnected. So if you have overdosed and that Botox has trickled into the other muscle, or you've exercised a lot unknowingly, and that, instead of one muscle, instead of attacking this muscle, it has gone here, then obviously, there'll be either a lid droop or something. So the doctor who's injecting should know the anatomy and the science, and then decide on, and every face is different, so decide on the units. So that is Botox. Now, a lot of times people mistake fillers for Botox. What are fillers? They are pre-filled syringes of hyaluronic acid. They're injected into the face in hollow spaces, and that's why they're called fillers, right? And when you overfill, that is the problem.
That's when lip fillers go wrong.
Lip fillers, under eye, cheeks. If you have just done like 4 syringes, 5 syringes, 6 syringes, and then every 6 months you're topping up, that hyaluronic acid is going to stay. It does not dissolve completely. So when you keep topping up, you start looking very puffy and bulky and weird. And that is when the effect, when it wears off, you've created spaces in your face and the face may look weird. So it doesn't happen with Botox. May happen with fillers if overdone, which has happened. I completely agree. Even in celebrities, it has happened. Very frequent top-ups. 6 mahine mein, 8 mahine mein, you're going every 6, 8 months, 10 months and doing it. No. 1.5 years should be the gap. Less is more always. So anything done right? See, salt, for example. You add a little bit of salt in your vegetable, it adds taste. You put more salt, what happens? It ruins it. It's the same thing.
But are the impacts of the filler reversible, like how it was in Botox?
There is an enzyme called hyaluronidase, which when you inject, the entire hyaluronic acid dissolves within 24 to 48 hours. So a filler, like if something goes wrong in a Botox, as in, brow has gone up, you can correct that with another unit. But suppose your smile has become asymmetric. Botox is also given for a TMJ and square jaws. So, you inject Botox, it becomes more chiseled. But if it gets into another muscle, the smile becomes crooked. That can stay for 4 months. You're stuck with it for 4 months. Then it goes off. With a filler, if you don't like the result, you inject hyaluronidase, it goes off within 48 hours. So it's fully reversible unless you are doing a synthetic permanent filler. Now, we don't use permanent fillers anymore. Back in the day, it was, fortunately, I've never used it. I've been injecting since 2004. But yeah, I've only used hyaluronic acid, fully reversible, right? I still don't know why people fill up faces like that. And then I don't understand why, when you look at yourself in the mirror, why don't you see that you're overfilled and go and get it corrected? Because it can be corrected.
I think if it's done correctly and like you said, in the right amount, then it's it's sounding safe. But at least with whatever you shared, people can take an informed decision whether they want that for themselves or not.
Choose your injector.
Yeah, absolutely.
Choose your injector, because it's a work of art. It's not just science.
Yeah.
You can't just say, oh, we have been taught that you have to do 0.2 ml here and 0.4 ml here. No, every face is different and unique. Do not change faces. Do not make one person look like the other. You can't make clones. Just enhance features of the person, the individual who's come to you. Because what do you want at the end of the day? You want to be the best version of yourself. You don't want to look like somebody else. Very often I have people saying, I want lips like these. I'm like, that's not possible. It may be possible, but I won't do it. I'll probably enhance your lips the way they are.
Because you can change like certain parts, but your features will remain the same, right? You can't look like another person completely. Maybe you can like mimic the size of their chin or something like that, but you can't like get their features.
Yeah, every person is unique, and that's the beauty, of being an individual. That is, we shouldn't be chasing perfection,
Yeah,
right? I
absolutely.
think individuality is beauty.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Now I want to get into fairness creams and also these lightening methods that are available. But firstly, let's just talk about creams. They're widely used across our country. Firstly, I believe that people that, as Indians, when we have darker skin, we have a less chance of getting skin cancer. But I think people don't know that. But can you tell us, do these fairness creams actually work?
Yeah, they do work.
They do work.
Now you have to be very careful as to what is the ingredient in the fairness creams. So back in the day, there was a lot of mercury. Even now, if it is not a brand which is reputed, well researched, they add mercury, and that can be very harmful for the body, not just for the skin. And that really lightens the skin, by the way. So you've got to be careful on that. Some creams back in the day, of course, had steroids in them. Even now, you have, you don't know what is there in a cream. The cream is suddenly making you look like very, very fair. You've got to be very careful because they can have steroids. So these are two ingredients you've got to be staying away. Then there is hydroquinone, which is a legit tyrosinase inhibitor. It does help in lightening, but you can't use it for over 3 months because then it causes rebound hyperpigmentation called uchronosis. So again, now these products are so easily available in the market that people don't realize and just go and buy it over the counter. So first of all, no mercury and no steroid. Hydroquinone only for 3 months, only prescription based, only if your dermatologist is prescribing it. Use it and then wean it off and stop it as your dermatologist tells you. Then there are other ingredients like alpha arbutin, kojic acid, of course, vitamin C, niacinamide, which, when over a period of time, when you keep using them in the form of serums or creams, they do help in reducing hyperpigmentation.
Okay. And this we spoke about creams, but I've also heard of IV therapy where glutathione is given. Does that in the long term make your skin lighter?
Now, that's again a big myth. See, you have to really overdose yourself with glutathione to get a side effect of glutathione, which will then destroy the melanin in your body, right? So, if you are allergic to it, or as a side effect, the melanin is breaking down, definitely your skin gets lighter. What is the other way to make it lighter? You overdose yourself. So then you break the melanin. Melanin is the pigment which is responsible for the color, the dark color. So if you overdose yourself with glutathione, you're breaking that pigment, and over a period of time, your skin is getting lighter. But what are the repercussions? We don't know the long term. We don't know if you're overdoing it and taking like 5,000 milligrams and 10,000 milligrams and random things available over websites which are, not even licensed or authentic. You have a lot of detrimental effects. It could cause kidney failure. We don't know about what it's doing to your liver. Although glutathione per se is a very good antioxidant and it is given for liver cirrhosis and all of those, but in the right dosage, right? So it's available as a 600 mg vial, the marketed, licensed, Indian FDA approved one, which is given by gastroenterologists, liver surgeons, liver specialists, and all. If your vial, you have a fancy vial which says 5,000 mg glutathione or 2,500 or 10,000, I've also seen 10,000 mg,
Crazy.
stay away from it. Stay absolutely away from it
Yeah.
because you don't know. You may eventually, you don't know which, if you have excess loss, you may develop secondary vitiligo or you may get,
Oh God.
there is melanin in your retina.
Hmm.
So where is it going if you're giving an IV? Is it causing blurring of vision
Oh my God.
if you've used it for 10 years?
Yeah.
So you've got to be very careful and don't just do random therapies. I've seen invites I have received where they've said, oh, before the Sangeet, everybody get ready for your IV drips
Really?
and shots. Yes, yes, yes. And that's very scary.
It's
It
very
has to be
scary.
done
Yeah.
properly, under absolute medical surveillance by a
Absolutely.
doctor. You get your blood tests done, you check your levels, see what your liver levels are, your kidney levels are, your creatinine, your SGOTPT, and then go ahead and do it. And also in the right dosage at the right intervals, not like every day and alternate day and all of that.
Absolutely. I've also seen that random salons are giving these IV therapies, but it's one thing to take it from an experienced doctor, but these kind of treatments can really backfire.
It's so people have to realize that it's an IV.
Hmm.
So an IV is directly getting into your blood,
Yeah.
which means it's getting into your entire system.
My
Each and every organ is getting
Yeah.
it. It may be a fantastic antioxidant, it's a normal ingredient in your body,
Yeah.
but again, you cannot overdose it.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to now get to another trend that's become really famous, and people are really aspiring to have this Korean glass skin. Do you think it's possible for the Indian skin to look like that?
First of all, no, it's not possible because Koreans have a different kind of skin genetically, right? Um, their climate is different, right? Their environment is different. Their diet is different, right? They don't have all these masalas and whatever we have are kind of oils and all that. So everything is so different. So formulations which are made for Korean skin are meant for Koreans, not for Indians. Our skin type is very different. We generally have thicker skin. Of course, some parts of India may be Aryan origin, northern parts, Kashmir, or those areas. Maybe you will find thinner skin types. But most of the times we are thicker skins. We have larger pores. We have more oil glands. We have more hair follicles. So our diet is different. Our climate is different. We're exposed to a lot of pollution. So using those products will not give us the so-called Korean skin. Some of those products are very light, so very nice to use. But are they going to do anything? We don't know. It's nice to use a moisturizer, a lightweight Korean moisturizer, a nice lightweight, Korean, maybe a face wash. But that's the full stop then.
Absolutely. And we also hear of the 10-step Korean skincare routine. Isn't that doing too much?
Of course, it's too much. Again, it's not for our skin type. People have to realize that just because, the internet or the social media is flooded with information on various ingredients,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean your skin needs everything.
Yeah.
There'll be 10 types of spices, but you're not adding everything to make whatever, you know, thing, whatever ingredient, whatever you're making, right, cooking. So similarly, just because I know of niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, retinol, AHA, BHA, alpha arbutin, my skin doesn't need it all. So if you have dry skin, you opt for hyaluronic acid or niacinamide. If you have oily skin, you opt for salicylic acid. If you want pigmentation to reduce, you use vitamin C or you use maybe kojic acid or alpha arbutin. If you want to reduce the size of your pores or reduce fine lines, then use a retinol or an AHA. So, any one serum, depending on what your skin requires, and maybe two serums max. What you should not forget is your moisturizer and your sunscreen. So, I would say actually a 4-step cleansing, one serum, moisturizer, and sunscreen, if at all you have to do it.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And I want to now get to the impact that alcohol can have on our skin.
So, alcohol, by and large, two things. One, if you're having it in the form of beer, wine, or even those cocktails which have a lot of sugar, sugar is bad for the skin. So, definitely, it's going to increase IGF-1, cause more acne. Also, there is a process called glycation whereby your collagen breaks down. That increases, so it causes premature aging of skin. The second it does is it dehydrates your skin. Alcohol will completely dehydrate your skin, so it does get drier, more wrinklier, more shrivels up, dull. All of that happens. And as I said, acne if you have sugary alcohols. So yeah, less again. I mean, if I say stop, I mean I would definitely, as a doctor say do not have alcohol. But maybe in moderation if you have some parties or whatever.
Yeah. We spoke of alcohol, but along with that, if we get into like the right diet for good skincare, what would you recommend?
I would say a balanced, healthy meal. So I would say the good carbs, right? You can have millets, you can have lentils, rajma, chana, all of that. They're good carbs. Some of the vegetables are good carbs. A little bit of ghee is good, the good fats, right? Then, um, of course, proteins. So it's not just our body, it's our skin. Collagen is protein,
Yeah.
elastin fibers. Hair is protein, keratin is protein. So if you want good skin, good hair, you have to have protein. And then you have to have all your vitamins and minerals, which you get from all your vegetables and greens. And then you need antioxidants, which you get from color, which means all the naturally brightly colored fruits and vegetables. So berries, carrots, papayas, spinach, all of that. Very rich in antioxidants. Then you look at omega 3, which means sunflower seeds, nuts, your flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, eh, almonds, walnuts, all of that. And for those who have non-vegetarian, salmons, mackerel, yeah, fish. So omega 3. And then, of course, water. So this is like a complete good diet, not just for the body, but for your skin and your hair as well.
But if you have a good diet, are supplements necessary?
No, I mean, up to a particular age, your body is able to process whatever you're eating
Yeah.
and get the best out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe, perimenopausal women or even men after the age of 45, the digestive system is going for a little bit of a toss and the absorption is not that great.
Okay.
And that's when you need supplements. But in your younger days, you really don't need supplements unless you're deficient in something.
Okay.
So if you're deficient in iron, you'll need, iron. If you're deficient in calcium or vitamin D3, which a lot of youngsters are,
Yeah.
B12, a lot of youngsters are,
Yeah.
then yes.
Okay.
But otherwise, you don't really need to load yourself if your diet is healthy.
Absolutely. And I believe there's a big connect between our gut health and our skin as well. So can you explain to us the connection between the gut microbiome and the skin microbiome?
Yeah. So it's very important to understand it, because so the gut is like the factory and the skin is your screen, right? So that is what it is. And whatever's happening inside our body, the skin is a window, right? Now, on the skin, just as in the gut, we all know that you have good bacteria and you have bad bacteria. And we all are now taking probiotics, prebiotics, and all of that to get our gut in place. Similarly, on the skin, you have staph epidermidis, which is a kind of bacteria. You have Gorny bacteria, which is a kind of yeast. You have Propionibacteria or Cutibacteria, which is what in excess causes acne. But in normal numbers, it's a good bacteria. You have Malassezia, which is a kind of fungi. And you have a whole lot of others. You have Lactobacillus, you have Bifidobacillus, all of these, which are there on the skin. And they are protecting you from the bad bacteria, from the fungi, from the viruses, pollution, all of that. When you damage that, okay, either by over exfoliation, alcohol based toners, lot of scrubbing, using harsh bacterial soaps, using a lot of AHA, BHA, retinol every single day and in large quantities without moisturizing. And then, of course, if you have a bad lifestyle, these microbiome will falter, okay, and you're destroying them. When you destroy them, that shield which is there, it's like all those border pe jo soldiers hote hain, you are killing them all, and the skin protective barrier will then sort of dwindle, and there is something called transepidermal water loss. So there's a lot of water loss from the skin and moisture loss. So the skin goes for a toss, and then you're prone to acne, eczemas, rosacea, allergies, hyperpigmentation, all of that. Now, your gut at the same time, if it is similarly, if it is also, if the microbes are not in place, if you have the bad bacteria overruling and overpowering your good bacteria, then too the same effects will happen on the skin. So there is definitely a connect
Yeah.
between the two.
Absolutely. It's so fascinating how the body is connected and every part can impact the other.
It's I think the mastermind who's made it. It's
Yeah.
I think a machine which is
Absolutely.
unmatchable.
It's crazy how
It's
everything
crazy.
functions.
It's crazy. Yeah.
The next thing that I want to get into is these LED light therapies that we see, the red light, the blue light therapies that are available. And also we see face masks that now have lights on them. How do they actually work and do they really help with anti-aging?
Yeah, so LED, that is light emitting diode. So you have to look at the wavelengths. Okay, so you have red light and you have infrared light therapy. If it has a wavelength between 620 to 660 nanometers, that's red light. And then there is infrared, which is around 830 to 850 nanometers. These will stimulate the fibroblasts in your skin and help in collagen regeneration. They do help to reduce inflammation. So, to a certain extent, whatever inflammation you have on the skin calms down. They do stimulate your hair follicles and the stem cells, and improve the blood circulation. And so they will also delay. There's the hair is in a cycle called anagen, which is the growth phase, lasts between 2 to 6 years. Then there is a catagen, a resting phase, and a telogen, which is a shedding phase. So a red light will help to keep the hair in that anagen phase for a longer period of time. So definitely you use it for about 20 minutes, 2 to 3 times in a week, whether you're using it in the form of a mask that you've talked about, or you're using it as an LED device which you roll on the skin. It is not like magic. It's not going to, get, if there is a face which is fully sagging or fully wrinkled, it's not going to go away.
Yeah.
But at least it'll, probably delay the signs of aging if you
Okay.
use it 2-3 times in a week. Now, there are so many devices in the market, and it's very difficult to sort of just pick any.
Yeah.
So I would say don't go for the very cheap ones.
Hmm.
Maybe in the comment section, I'll leave some
Yeah.
names of some, maybe moisturizer, sunscreen, and LED devices, which probably you can use. The LED devices, which are handheld and they're used for stimulating your collagen, they're a little expensive.
Yeah.
They range between 50,000 to 2 lakhs.
Okay.
Those are the ones which actually work.
Yeah.
The masks that you put are very temporary. But even those, the ones which are in that range of 5 to 6,000 are the better ones.
Okay.
Anything cheaper is not going to work. It's just some light. That means it doesn't have the adequate wavelength.
Makes sense. No,
When you
thank
spoke of acne,
Yeah.
that is blue light.
Okay.
So 420 to 460 nanometers
Mm-hmm.
around, that is what is going to help in reducing the bacterial load. The bacteria which is responsible for acne is called Cutibacterium, or back in the day it used to be called Propionibacterium.
Okay.
So blue light actually targets those and reduces them or kills them.
Great.
So that is the wavelength you have to look out for.
Absolutely.
So
No, that's
read
very
the
helpful.
label, see
Yeah.
what the wavelength is.
Huh. No, absolutely. And I think, once you share the links, it will be very helpful for our audience as well. Coming to the last segment, which is the rapid fire segment, I have a few questions and you can, give us prompt answers for them. The first one is, while choosing a shampoo, are there any ingredients that you should absolutely avoid?
Fragrance and alcohol.
The next one is, are there any top three budget friendly powerhouse ingredients that actually deliver a genuine hydrated glow?
Ceramides, hyaluronic acid, and shea butter.
Okay. The next one is, what's the right age to start anti aging treatments like Botox and fillers?
35.
Okay.
Having said that,
Yeah.
if somebody has very thin lips or a very small jaw,
Yeah.
short chin, small chin, and is looking to enhance it a little, you can also do it at a younger age.
Yeah.
FDA says 18 plus. We do it even at 24, 25, if required, not otherwise.
But is it a big disadvantage if you start at like 50, for example?
You should never start at 50. By then the building has collapsed.
Okay.
You have to start early. You have to, I would say, chemical peels and microneedling. These are things you can even start in your early 30s. Radio
Okay.
frequency, high intensity focused ultrasound, things which you can start early.
Yeah.
And skin boosters you can start at around between 30 35. And Profilo is a more intense, or Sculptra is a more intense biostimulator. You can start after 35. But don't say I want to wait till I'm 50. By then you need a facelift.
Absolutely. What's the best way to target dark circles?
You need to find out why you have dark circles. Is it anemia? Then you need iron. Is it lack of sleep, or is it stress? So then you need to work on that. Is it allergy to cosmetics or some eye allergies? Then you treat that. So if you treat the cause, then you are able to tackle the dark circles. If you have dark circles, then you'll need lasers and PDRN, which is the salmon sperm DNA treatment. And if you have sunken eyes, you need fillers.
What's the best time to get sunlight to prevent sun damage?
There's no such best time, but probably for vitamin D, if you
Yeah.
want, I think the first early hours between 8 and 10 is good.
Okay. Any home remedy or mask for glowing skin?
I love mashed papaya.
Okay, that works. Okay. Any three best anti-aging foods?
All the berries,
Hmm.
sunflower pumpkin seeds,
Hmm.
and all the green leaves.
Okay. And any foods that you would like to recommend for collagen boosting?
Proteins.
Proteins.
So basically anything with high proteins, whether it's, lean meat or whether it's egg whites, especially sprouts, tofu, mushrooms, lentils.
Okay. Absolutely. Um, Now, if someone's buying a soap, how do you choose the right soap?
So if you really want to use a soap and not a body wash, you have to use a soap which is a Syndet bar,
Hmm.
because that will not alter the pH of your skin.
Okay.
Otherwise, most soaps make the skin more alkaline,
Hmm.
and then that dries the skin and zaps the moisture.
Okay.
So something which is more hydrating and has less fragrance, like maybe a Pears or a Dove or a Sebamed or a CeraVe soap bar or a Cetaphil soap bar. These are bars that you can use.
Okay. Any makeup do's and don'ts to prevent acne and pimples?
Clean your makeup sponges and makeup brushes
Yeah.
every time you use them. People don't do that.
Yeah.
Check your makeup. So if they are old, if they are, there is something called period, of expiry after opening, right?
Hmm.
So check that.
Hmm.
If your makeup has changed color or texture, throw it off. Eye makeup, don't use over 6 months. Lipsticks, 1 year. So it's very important. And then don't use the same, opt for makeup where you don't have to use your fingers every time to take out the stuff. Always use brushes and sponges and spatulas. That is most important. Removing your makeup is most important. And then, depending on your skin type, you choose your formulations. If you have oily, acne prone skin, always use water based foundations and concealers. Don't opt for creams. And if you have dry skin,
Hmm.
then opt for a mousse or a heavy cream, which is oil based.
Absolutely. One food that you should absolutely avoid if you want good skin.
Sugar.
Sugar.
So, sugar means jaggery, white sugar,
Okay.
honey, any form of sugar.
Okay. So people I think know about sugar, but they don't know that jaggery and honey are also an issue.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So now it's a very controversial thing, and they'll say, oh, you can have organic.
Yeah.
In moderation, very little, maybe. Once in a while, maybe.
Hmm.
But otherwise, all sugars are sugars. They do the same thing, whether
Makes
you're
sense.
doing jaggery or white sugar.
I think you get that spike regardless,
It's the
right?
same. Yeah, yeah. The chemical that the composition that it has, and ultimately the hormonal shift and the glycation that it does is absolutely the same.
And the last one that I have for you is that what are three lifestyle habits that all of us should have for great skin?
A good diet, no smoking, that's the biggest killer. So if you want good skin, then nicotine has to be avoided completely. Sleep cycle has to be absolutely on point, which means you don't say I sleep at 2 today and I'm getting up at 2 tomorrow and I'm getting, no, you have to follow the circadian rhythm. Try and sleep by midnight. One odd day is fine. So that is a holistic lifestyle: exercise, diet, sleep, right? Then that's one. Number two is a good skincare routine where moisturizer and sunscreen are non negotiable. Everything else you can forget if you want to, right? The third is learning to cope with stress. All of us have stress. Every individual will say it's a part of our life. How are you learning to deal with it? Are you allowing it to soak your entire system and degrade every cell of your body? That is wrong. So, practice methods, whether it's meditation or pranayam or journaling or reading a book or developing a hobby, which is, or some amount of me time, and learning to sort of stay happy and figure out things for yourself is very important, because stress has a very detrimental effect on your skin and aging.
Absolutely. And, I think after watching this podcast, our audience will have a lot less stress because you've cleared so many doubts about skin. So thank you so much for being on the show, sharing your knowledge. I've learned so much. I'm sure my audience has too. Would you have any parting words?
I think always don't forget your sunscreen and stay happy no matter what. Um, you know, things which all the negative emotions that we have will always show on the skin, no matter how many treatments do you do and whatever best and most expensive creams you use. If you're not happy from within, it's never going to reflect on the outside. And the third is, self-love is important, self-care is important, and honoring your own individuality is very important.
That's so well said. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
To our audience, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to share this episode with your loved ones, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and I'll see you very soon in another episode. Lots of love. Bye.